there's this other woman just shoving this fist into this other woman's vagina. This is the thing. I had never, ever seen this in my entire life. This is like the most, I didn't even know a fist could fit in there. I was like, a penis, I think, like fits in there. I didn't even know. That ruined our lives. Right after that, we're like, I didn't even know. And then honestly, for a while, I probably for a good couple days after that, I was like, I bet women hide shit in there. They do sometimes, just not all the time.
So anyway,
yeah, Game of Thrones is good though. Yeah.
I wasn't really impressed with how they wrap things up.
Grown-up human comic people. Grown-up human comic people.
Good morning or evening or whatever time it happens to be. You welcome to episode 42 of Volume 2 of Grown-Up Human Comic People. I'm going to go around the table. We have a guest today as well. I'll introduce the guest last. We'll go with the standard humans first, and then we'll go to the guest. So, to my left, Chris. J-Man.
Hey.
Gray.
Greetings.
Dan.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Jared. We're the humans, and we have a special guest, Mr. Derek Minto.
Okay, I gotta talk about something real quick.
Okay.
So wait, I'm not a normal. You guys are so you guys are normal humans.
Yes.
And I'm not a normal human.
You are a special human.
I'm a
Subhuman.
Oh, wow.
This like sounds like grade school all over again. Like, no, you gotta go over here. You can't be with you can't be with these people because they're normal. You're whatever not normal is.
You're in the gifted class.
All right.
Yeah. I never thought about it, but all our guests should be subhumans.
Yeah, that's.
The subhumans.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
I'm not upset about it. I just want to know my boundaries before we argue.
Okay.
I feel like the gifted program, gifted classes, it's misleading because in grade school, the gifted classes were actually for people who had learning disabilities.
Oh, no.
And so then I got to high school and I met people who said they were in the gifted program, and I was like, but man, you seem fine. You seem really smart.
I know. There's a difference. There's gifted and there's special.
No. It was called I think it was just called gifted. I think they were like these are gifted people.
I think you're misremembering this.
Gifted differently than the rest of us.
Or your school just sucked. I don't know.
It was a Catholic school, man.
Well,
like it definitely
Catholic
sucked.
schools are awful.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I grew up like in Catholic school, and then when I was in fourth grade, I went to public school, and they were like, "What the fuck did you learn?"
Yeah.
I was learning phonics. Like, literally the Hooked On program they were teaching in our school. I was just like, well, everyone has phonics. You know, it's the combination of English
Phonics.
and phonics.
And phones.
Oh, it was such a dumb class. It only took me 7 years to fix that problem.
Fuck, man. I only 7 years. I'm still working on fixing the problems that were put in there from 12. No, it was, I guess 9 years of Catholic education.
The problems that were put in there.
The problems that got put in there. It's the fucking phonics classes, man. I have no access to. I have this.
I
like,
think
aphasia.
you were in the special class, and they just told you something different.
Told me I was gifted.
Yeah.
Especially gifted.
I remember
Gifted differently.
I remember being jealous of the kids in the special class because they literally just went into a room and played on the computer all day.
Yeah.
They just computer games all day.
There's this fucked up. It was a fucked up trailer outside of the school. So,
Yeah, we had a fucked up trailer.
Yeah,
too.
we had trailers.
And it was just like kids piecing out, going into this fucked up trailer, and like you could see them. No, you didn't know like what the hell was going on in there.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew. But I knew that sometimes they came back with toys.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have to sit through the regular classes.
Yeah.
It seemed at the time really legit. Retrospectively, there's a fucking trailer like parked in the parking lot where adults took little kids for an hour at a time. Just like a few though, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the one thing I really miss from going to, like, Catholic school, though, was actually the religion classes. Because when I was a little kid, I was like, this is crazy. All this stuff happened. I cannot believe they got dinosaurs on that ark. Like, they just seem like crazy. But, too, the best part of all those assignments was it would always be like this worksheet page where it was like, is God good? And you'd be like, yeah. But at the end, it would always be like you had to write out like a paragraph where you had to write some like word answer. And all you always had to write, no matter what, you could just write, I will pray more. And you could write that everything, and you were golden. Super easy class.
There's a pretty early lesson in learning the system.
Yeah.
That's true.
Dude, that's a really good point of just fucking the system, like working inside of the system to your benefit. I had a religion teacher. This was in 9th grade, actually, though, and we could put names into a box, and it was a prayer for that saint, right? So it's sort of like petitioning that saint to pray for us, and she made the mistake, or maybe it wasn't a mistake, of telling us that for every name that exists, there is certainly someone who is, achieved sainthood with that name. So, man, we fucking walk in. Everybody's putting like 3, 4, 5 fucking names in there. Weird names, too. And because she couldn't, absolutely say that they weren't saints, she would spend 20 minutes of the class with this box, which was like a shoe box that she would take the lid off of. A shoe box with, a slit in it. Take the lid off and be like, and Saint... I can't read this. Pray for us.
So they were just made up gibberish names, or
yeah.
Saint Fart Bucket.
Actually,
no. There was nothing inappropriate because that would have she would have been really upset then. But if you just put a string of letters together,
actually, I know exactly what I would do. Well, I don't know that I would do this, but the first thing I would think of doing and probably choose not to is to have her come out and say Saint Adolf. Okay.
That was at a time though where you could have probably some kid who had real meta mind could have just written the Saint. Just Val Kilmer, motherfuckers.
Saint the Saint, pray for us.
Just the Saint. Oh yeah, no, that's a good movie. I do like that movie. Val Kilmer was good.
Nobody's ever said that. It's the first time that's ever been said.
Setting records, guys.
The quote on the front of that DVD is, "It is a movie."
Val Kilmer is definitely in this movie as well.
No, man, but that movie made the BMW Z3 cool as fuck. When that car came out and he was driving it in the sand, it was like, oh, yeah, this car's rad. You're cool.
I can't believe we're discussing The Saint. Val Kilmer.
And that's what I bring to the table.
Welcome to the conversations that happen on The Gifted. On the Gifted trailer.
Yeah.
Gifted human comic people.
Good job. All right, so you can find us at grownuphumans.com, epicastnetwork.com/grownuphumans. Rate and review us on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Libsyn, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud at Grown Up Human Comic People. And then we also have Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram at Grown Up Humans. And we are sponsored by Southside Comics, 1931 East Carson Street. Get on there, get some comic books from Dan. Not this Dan, a separate Dan who is not here right now. And also go to radicaltrivia.com. Check out some live trivia shows around town. Check out Midnight Rose. Just released an album.
Yeah, real quick. Metal Impact put out their review
this
month. It was really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
It was.
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah, it was super positive. First thing I said to Greg was, I was like, dude, did you write this? Because it was it was so positive. But so that was, I wanted to thank Ryvex at Metal Impact. And then there was a couple other pages that shared it too. La Fande Metal. They're all foreign. So
Yeah.
And Whiskey for Mr. Bukowski.
Yeah, I read that one.
Yeah.
Or I tried to read that one. My Google Translate wasn't popping up, so I just tried to
I had no issues with that at all.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
You just copy paste it into another into a Google Translate. I mean, that's if you want to.
Yeah.
But that's what I did.
Yeah.
So
I thought about doing that, and I think I got distracted or something.
So there was the review in German? What?
French.
It was in
French.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not as metal.
Which means,
Yeah, you're right.
but yeah, whenever we do our Tour de France over there, we're gonna have fans ready to go. So
I believe it's pronounced.
So
Vons.
how did I'm sorry. This, by the way, awesome. Well, congratulations. That's super sweet.
Thank you.
But how did France get hold of it? Did you send it over there?
I don't know. Well, apparently our music is much more popular outside of the United States, just because rock and hard metal and whatever you want to call it is just not very popular here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Other countries are still cool. We suck.
Countries still kick ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, I hadn't discussed with any of you guys, but I had to stare at my Facebook for a good 5 minutes to figure out how this turned out. But Amok is having a CD release party that you guys are going to be opening.
Yeah, we're going to
for.
play. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll play that. Yeah.
Did he reach out to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah?
so. Yeah.
What a silly motherfucker. I have a hardcore industrial rap album I'm going to put out. Midnight Rose should definitely open up for this.
People are gonna love you guys.
Get some 70s psychedelic hard rock in there.
Yeah, it'll be. That's October 20th, which I believe is a Friday at Cativo. I believe it's downstairs, and it's like he's actually. There are 4 acts on the bill. He said that he's performing first, then us, and then another rock band. I think I should have the names right in front of me, but I didn't think of it. And then there's going to be another hip hop group playing fourth. So it's 2 rap and 2 rock, generally speaking, and it'll be a fun for all, I guess, in some capacity.
It's a rock sandwich.
It's a rock sandwich. Yes.
I hope, like,
I like that.
That sounds awesome.
yeah, a rock sandwich.
Come down here for a rock sandwich.
I hope it's one of these like these new metal bands that were super popular in 1999 and haven't like it's like Papa Roach or somebody.
So it makes that sound amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to sit through the second part to realize to contrast how good Midnight Rose is.
Well, you just need to hit the first song, and you're like, "Yep, no, that was way better. I'm gonna leave it now."
The last hip hop act comes out. There's nobody left. There's like one dude with Jenko jeans and it's some sort of like tassel cap or something on.
You know what I do? If you're listening and you're planning on that show, no matter what happens, just stay to the end. You know, like don't be a dick. You just stay there and unless something's you absolutely cannot stand something, just like stay because it sucks to be in the last act and you get on stage and everyone has left. It just sucks.
You know what? That's kind of a problem, though, and I just had that issue last night.
Yeah.
There was Greg and I were at Sykes, and Sykes was good. It was cool. He did his new shit, and that was rad. And then like the next guy came on. He's like a hip hop guy too, and he started out strong, and then it just went way south. And I'm like, I'm paying attention to you just because I don't want it to seem like you're not good, but I'm not enjoying this at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. And so I just realized, like, I don't owe him anything. Like, I'm just not feeling this. I'm going to talk to my friends.
Yeah.
And so I started talking to my friends.
If you're not into it, like I get it. I don't know. It's hard because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be an audience who just like is supporting anything.
Right.
Because then no one will improve.
Right.
Like if someone goes up there and then everyone fucking leaves, maybe next time they're gonna be like, oh, I should do a better job, or maybe I should do something different, or maybe I should stop doing this. But it sucks to be the band after that, because like the next band might be good, and you missed out on it because the person in front of them sucked. So
Yeah.
And in our defense, it wasn't right away. Like we did listen to him for a little bit before continuing to converse.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, like we weren't like right in front of him. Like the
Right.
bank of chairs that were right in front of him. Those people were, I guess, his friends or fans that like they were still into it. There was a show that I saw at Altar Bar once. Actually, it was one of the times that I saw Led Zeppelin, and for whatever reason, they were touring with like a singer-songwriter that was opening for them. So there were 3 bands. There was a local opener, and then there was this singer-songwriter that was touring, and then it was Led Zeppelin. Well, this guy, his name was Tom Chacon, actually, I remember, but because I talked to him a little bit afterwards. For whatever reason, I remember that. But he was playing by himself, acoustic guitar, singing. It was fine. It wasn't anything I was particularly into, but it was fine. But there was a guy who was, I guess, about my age. It was during his whole set, he was leaning his ass against the stage and talking to somebody in like the second row behind, like of people behind him. And not that I was into the guy or like friends with the performer, but I went up to him and said, "Hey, man, maybe you don't realize how rude this comes across, but you're leaning with your back against the stage while somebody's performing. Probably not too cool to do that."
yeah,
I do that next time I don't like someone's ass. That is
that's vicious.
violent.
It is.
Yeah.
That is the most violent, passive-aggressive thing you can
It's
do.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's real shitty.
Yeah, yeah. And
I might have kicked that guy in the back of the head.
he had this rule. What's the word I'm looking for? But it was just the bad attitude after it was like, yeah, well, I'm just trying to have a conversation. I'm a musician too, so it's cool. And I'm like, well, then you definitely should know
That's
better.
worse.
Yeah. That sounds like the equivalent of like in stand-up when sometimes people will, I don't know why people do this, but they'll put their feet on the stage. Like they're in the front row.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And
yeah.
I go ballistic. Like that is not an okay thing.
No.
It's like, this is my crappy little space.
Yeah.
And for however many 5 or 10 or whatever minutes I'm up there, or this is mine.
Yeah.
This is all mine. And like you doing that, like, especially if you're a musician, like if a comic did that, I would deck them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, the comic would be worse because, I mean, it's like one person talking has the advantage of like a microphone, and that's it. And then you have like someone who's probably trying to talk over that. Because sometimes if I'm doing trivia, I'll hear people like while I'm trying to say something who are like in the front, and they're just like screaming over time, like, "Can you shut the fuck up, please? Like, just wait till like a song comes on or something." Like you're trying to overpower me, who has a microphone. It's like really distracting to me and to everybody else. It's like other people are trying to pay attention to this. I don't care what your conversation is. Like, fuck off, shut the fuck up.
I don't know, that back to the stage, like back ass against the stage thing move though, that's so balls out. It reminds me of the president of New York from Tokyo Ghost, or the president of Los Angeles, who's like having meetings while taking a shit. Like that image of like somebody who's like, I don't give a fuck. And like not like I don't give a fuck, like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. It's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely would have done something. I'm not sure if I would maybe not have physically hurt that person, but I definitely would have like maybe grabbed the microphone and gotten right down next to their face and just started singing in their fucking ear or something. Like, oh, you're at a show, dude. If you want to have a conversation, get the fuck out of here.
Do the Marilyn Manson thing and take your nutsack out and just plant it right on the guy's back of his head.
Man, yeah. Oh, just fart on his head.
Wait, did Marilyn Manson do that to somebody?
To a security guard. Yeah. Who, like, is supposed to have his back to the stage, watching the crowd, making sure everybody's cool. So that itself wasn't cool, but...
Yeah.
That just reminded me. I'm not sure if I've told this brief story on this podcast before, but did I tell you about the fart on someone's back thing?
No.
Okay, so we were at a sleepover. Like in like junior high, junior high sleepover with just your friends, like, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's just like, you're teenagers, you're gross, like you're like early teenagers.
You're working on your swearing skills.
Yeah. You don't know it. Yeah, you don't know shit. You think you know
about
everything.
The pornography this guy found out in the woods and what woods he found.
Yep. Before the internet, yeah. So anyway, we were playing video games. I think it was hot, so we all had our shirts off. And so one of our friends, he might actually be listening to this, so I won't say his name, but.
No, go ahead, say it. I'm cool.
So we were all playing video games and like we're all of our shirts off. So I like crept up on the couch behind him and just pulled my pants down and just right like on the small of his, like not the small of his back, but like on like right below his neck, like right between his shoulder blades, just real fast. Started farting as soon as it touched. Just fart directly on his back. He got so pissed off. They chased me with some scissors.
Yeah.
That's way
What was he
shitty.
going to do? Cut your asshole?
I'm not sure what the plan was, but we ran around the house for a while, just trying to beat my ass for farting bare ass on his
Like,
bare
if
back.
he came at you with like some epoxy, I'd get that. Like, he's like, I'm gonna close that hole. Like, scissors isn't gonna solve anything. If anything, it's gonna scare you, and you're gonna fart more. Like,
I hope it caught up to you. That's real shitty.
Well, you know what's real shitty about that? Because I've heard this story at least 24 times now. Now I just realized if you got like where his neck meets his like spine right at the shoulders there, if you put any pressure there, it usually feels nice. So if you're thinking to yourself like that was probably pleasurable in a way that he dealt with mentally for years. Like, do I like farts on my neck?
I bet he does now.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sure at some point, like he's real drunk. He's got like a pinky up this girl's butt while they're making out. And he's like, "Hey, can you fart on my neck?" In your deepest voice possible, tell me you're farting on your neck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There he just has like a little fan that like oscillates just like on the back of his neck when he's asleep. And he jacks off. And he's like,
Oh, that reminds me of bathroom wall poetry that I saw yesterday and committed to memory.
so matter of fact.
He probably said that to himself as he was looking at it. I will commit this to memory.
Please, I'm
Okay, you ready?
on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Oh, it's short. It's really short. But it's my pinky is kinky and sometimes it's stinky.
That's pretty good. Very good one.
That was at Ham Bones.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
That's
Ham Bones.
amazing.
It's so crazy there.
That's amazing. I love that. Oh, so Minto, where can we find you for things that you do?
Speaking of
You
ham
can go to
bones,
DerekMinto.com.
Oh, I didn't know you had a website.
I am the official DerekMinto.com.
Oh, okay.
You can go on there. You can go on my Facebook fan page, my social validation network, as I like to call it. That's the best place to find me. Or you can just find me in the streets.
Okay.
I'm around a lot.
Yeah.
People see me. They're like, that guy. And I'm like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
And they ask me when my next show is. I'm like, I don't have any good ones. Don't come. But I do have. When's this coming out? When's this?
This will be like not this Wednesday, but the one after that. So.
Never mind. I'm not going to push any shows then because.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. I will bring one thing since we were talking about Ham Bones. So I run all the comedy in Ham Bones.
Yeah.
Like I run all the stand up and there's one other person who does one of the mics, but like I kind of help like coordinate it because I kind of help build that room for comedy. And so what's kind of cool is in the month of October, every single week we're going to do a weekly show from now on. So it's like rather than we usually have like one showcase like once a month. Where it's like it's great, it's a fun show, but we're gonna do one every single one in October, and if it goes well, then we're gonna do it all the time.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Every week.
every Saturday at 10:00.
Oh, nice.
And then there'll be a midnight show too.
Okay.
So,
Very cool.
Okay.
And we're gonna do all kinds of crazy fun stuff. There's gonna be an underwear show. There's gonna be
Ooh.
a show where people are not on drugs. They will be. Applied. So I can't say that for legal purposes.
Ah, I see. So,
But yeah, it's gonna be a super fun show.
nice.
So, will the midnight show be the same as the?
No,
10
it'll be a
o'clock
different show.
Okay.
Always be different.
Okay.
So
you can
some
start
of
both
them,
shows.
a couple of them, one will be open mic. One of them is going to be like this kind of game showy kind of thing.
You don't say.
What?
So you don't say. A game showy thing, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't have it figured out yet. So, but it's going to be something like that. So people are going to love it.
Sweet.
But yeah, you can check me out there.
what did you
Nice.
win something recently?
I mean, I got voted City Paper's best comic.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
Congratulations.
tricked a bunch of people into doing that. That was fun.
Yeah, that's excellent. Actually, there's that's you. You got City Paper best trivia, right?
Did I?
I don't know.
Did that come out already? I didn't know it came out.
That was last year.
Oh,
Last
The
year.
newest one hasn't come out
Oh,
yet.
The newest one comes out when?
October, I think.
Yeah,
Something like that. I don't know.
I think voting was up through.
Yeah, I
that
think
was up through
voting
August.
voting ended a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah.
but yeah, there's Midnight Rose. Didn't win any awards, but you guys are loved in France.
Yeah. We are loved in France.
Yeah.
And there's a
other
City
countries.
Paper in France. Le City Paper. And, you know, that's how they would say it because I know. They'd given you guys 5
Five
only do
baguettes.
fromages or something.
5 baguettes.
Yeah,
I just want baguettes to show up. Like, here, these are for you.
it'd be nice.
Just anonymous, just some French anonymous person. We love your CD.
That'd be a fucking sweet ass gift to just get in the mail, though. Some like overnighted baguettes.
Yeah, they're still really good.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
As someone that bakes bread, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't
But
be
if they
ideal.
had a way,
What if they had some kind of baguette plane that they made the baguettes on the plane and then they just had to ship them from the
I
airport?
feel like the only way to do it is you have to have some kind of cannon.
Yeah.
you had to like do like a really complicated math to shoot them around the Earth.
You
The
can do it.
intercontinental baguette cannon.
I feel. I mean, if it's from France, I feel like they're going to use a trebuchet and they're just going to launch baguettes in your general direction.
Speaking of shows and Midnight Rose, so the names of the other performers, since I couldn't resist and pulled it up. So it's Ryan Amok, and then it's us, Midnight Rose, and then it's this is that for that October 20th show. And it's he said a cool 2-piece rock band called the Harken, Hearken, and a hip hop group called the Lazy Black Men.
What now?
Lazy. So 2 words, lazy, and then Blackman. BLACKMAN.
I'm sure no one's ever gotten upset over that name.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm very curious to see those guys.
I mean, that person needs to be black, and if they're not, I don't know what to say. I don't know what
Yeah.
is going to happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be real awkward.
I think covers $7, and yeah, that's all. No pre-sale. It's all at the door.
That's a pretty square deal.
Yeah.
I think that the lazy black man is the colloquial definition for a word that we're all familiar with and don't use.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely have to be like a lot black. Like you, Jared, you can't be known as the lazy black man. It's not. You don't.
No.
Like that's like Erykah Badu level. Like that's some like common shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
Like that dude that plays Adabisi in Oz.
yeah,
You have
or,
to.
Lauren Hill, like who? Like,
Yeah.
she's just like
Yeah, Lauren Hill could rock that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's one of those things where like you have to be at least this black to say this name.
yeah. I couldn't do it. I'm A, not black enough, and B, too lazy. So Game of Thrones was good this right? The finale was good.
The finale sucked.
Really?
You like it?
Yeah, I hated it.
Really?
Interesting.
Well, I didn't hate. Now, listen,
Spoiler
that's
alert.
That's
just-
hyperbolic.
Yeah.
If you are not caught up on Game of Thrones, you should turn this off now. And also, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, if you care about this at all, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway,
Is this the series finale or just season finale?
season finale.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Is it actually a season finale or is it a halfway season finale?
It's a season finale.
it's
they
a season
said.
finale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next season's going to be season 8?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
The final season.
Yeah. But they
They got a lot of work to do on that last season.
They don't. They really don't. I mean, I think that
It's not that many episodes.
Yeah,
man.
the writing's on the wall now. We all know what's happening. I mean, I never thought I'd ever see America cheer for incest the way they have in this last episode.
I could not believe I was sitting there during that scene going, I'm like, I'm cool with it, I guess. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's not
Yeah.
so bad. I've watched ant dude porn before on
which is unavoidable at this point.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's not- what the
I was
fuck
gonna
is
say,
happening?
if you go to like top voted or most viewed on
Yeah.
Pornhub, it's just like this is not uncommon. Like everyone
Like,
just wants to
Ant-
fuck their mom
Ant
and
needs
sister.
hot-
and-
Yeah, what the fuck is happening?
it's always like ant needs hard dicking from
From stepson.
sister's
or something.
stepson to impregnate her. Like
Yeah.
it's like massive load blows.
I honestly feel like I feel like it's tapping into something that we all experience. Well, a lot of males experience, right? As you're like growing up and you're entering into puberty, and these people in your lives, like the women who are closest to you in your lives, are the people most likely that you're related to in some capacity.
Yeah.
And it's not uncommon to have like these really uncomfortable dreams about relatives when you're coming of age, and nobody talks about it. And I remember having this one fucked up dream when I was young. I was real young, and I didn't talk about it until I was in my like, I don't know, late 20s, mid 20s, and I was my buddy. I was like, yo, dude, so one time I had this dream, and I mean, this was my relative. And he's like, oh, yeah, dude, no big deal. That happens to everybody. He was like, I just had a dream like a month ago about my little cousin who's like 10 years younger than me. And, you know, he was older than me. So he was in his mid 30s. And so she was in her like mid 20s. And I was like, so this is a common phenomenon.
Right.
He's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's just like it started as like some some like outward way of dealing with this thing that we all experience, that we have yet to evolve to a point where we talk about it comfortably. Like, yeah, I had a weird sex dream about a relative.
I think part of it is also, though, I mean, the way people take dreams is a lot of people really want to read a lot into them. And I think sometimes that's a really dumb thing to do. Like, I read all the, like, this if you have a hat in a dream, it means you hate minorities, or, you know, whatever. Like, but I think sometimes people read too much in dreams in that sense. I think you can glean things from them, but I think there's a fear of telling people what happened in a dream because people are like, oh, this guy wants to fuck all of his sisters now. Like,
Yeah.
or something weird like that. And it's not. Sometimes it's just your mind decompressing and re-putting things together. I mean, that's the way I always interpret
Yeah,
it.
well, because
I don't know.
it's your brain without you at the helm.
Yeah.
So it's like your brain is literally just doing stuff by itself. So it's like, okay, you can't blame your brain for it's like, okay, well, I didn't jack off today, so I've got all this pent up whatever energy. It's like, oh, and what are the most recent boobs I saw? Whatever, your step person or whatever, your cousin or something like that. That makes sense. It's like your brain's just like putting these things together and like just airing out all these, things that are in there.
I think I read an article on this recently because this blows my mind how much incest is just prevalent in any free porn that you can find on any website, whatever you choose. It's always just like
It's crazy.
It's insane how much it is now. And it was a really interesting article because they said most people really don't have this as a fetish, but it's easy to relate to. Right. Which is one of the things to get yourself into porn. Like once you get over that stage when you're 12 years old and you're like, I don't care, I just got to see boobs and I got to jerk off. That's it. That's it. That's the minimal requirement. I got to see an areola and I have to have my hand in my dick. That's it. It could be a man's areola. It could be a chestnut that is erotic. It doesn't matter. I just need to see something and I'm gonna fucking jizz everywhere into this sock right now. I'm gonna rub my dick against the edge of the couch. Nobody's home. Nothing matters except that I jizz right now and I need something in front of me. But once you get beyond that and we are just filled, like there's just all the porn you want now. You can have whatever desire you have. You're like, all right, I need a girl in a koala hat dressed as a banana, and I want her to wear fishnet stockings, and I want a giant black guy wearing also fishnet stockings to fuck her, but I want her to be completely on his dick and him to swing around, and then he ejaculates on the koala hat. I guarantee you'll find it. Just like that.
That's not like all just one tag, though. Like that, you have to find like 7 tags to get them.
Eventually, you'll get there, though. You'll get to that point because there's just so much out there, and anybody will do it, and they make a lot of money from it. But for something, when you eventually get to the point where you're like, okay, all I need to be drawn into this scenario. I need something to link me there. And a lot of these videos are out there because it's something that you can relate to. You don't want that scenario. You don't want to fuck your mom, but you identify like, I have a mom. You might not have a sexual experience at this point, but it's a scenario that is plausible because your stepmom loves you, or your stepsister, or your regular sister.
Well, it's just being able to put yourself in the situation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's easy to do that. It's easy to put yourself in that scenario, whereas you don't like it. You're not sexually attracted to it, but that person's really fucking hot.
That's the thing.
And you can put yourself in there like, oh, man, those are beautiful tits. I'm going to come inside her.
Well, you're like, okay, well, this person's attractive, and like if that person was my stepmom or whatever, then like I'd probably have some weird feelings about her. But like, that's not the case. But you can, because it's like a safe distance. Like it's not literally, you're not in that situation, but you're watching somebody else in that situation.
But it was like, it's like in middle school. There's always that one really fucking dumb kid who, like, in 7th grade, he already had like a mustache. He doesn't know what to do with all these like hormones and testosterone. And he says to someone who, has a hot sister, like, yo, dude, if that was my sister, I'd fuck her. Like, what? Like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, you're a mess. I don't even think you realize.
You're already a mess and you just got pubes.
My favorite video that I've seen as far as the incest goes, because...
Go on.
Please go on.
This was one that actually is that
You can list your top 10 if you want.
I only have one.
Okay.
But they're everywhere. I mean, everybody has seen them. But this one, there was nothing good about this, but I love the plot setup. So it's this huge, big-titted MILF, like, and she's doing dishes in a thong. In her house, and she's doing dishes, and she drops her wedding ring down the sink, and she goes,
"Oh, I know what you're talking about."
She gets stuck.
Yeah. And her son comes in, and she's like, "Oh, David, help me get my hand out," and he just walks over and starts fucking her.
What? Dude,
that was the result.
Subgenre now. There's like a lady gets stuck in a dryer. Like there's one where a lady gets stuck underneath a table, and the guy's like, "Well, I guess I'm just gonna slather her ass and I come down."
Yeah.
And he just pours dish soap on her ass and just starts fucking her. She's like, "This is not right. I'm stuck in the dishwasher. Oh my lord!
Oh my god! I'm imagining fucking Mrs. Doubtfire getting fucking railed with her hand stuck in the sink.
This is the funniest part about all of them. This is what always happens. It's always like halfway through. They're like, he's giving her the business, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm free now, but let's just keep fucking anyway."
Yeah,
because it's like, well, we can't do this angle forever. Like,
well, because it plays to your to that person and your ego where it's like, oh, the sex was so good, I'm just going to keep doing it. And now that I'm free of this situation where I had to do it, I'm going to choose to do it now because your dick is so good.
But does it also kind of reinforce that thing that seems to be present right now, or at least talked about a lot more now, where it's like somebody's saying no, but they actually mean yes?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, no, I don't want to have sex with you. Well, she said no, but actually I knew she wanted the dick. You know, and it's
Right.
like, no, that's rape.
Yeah, that's definitely
Like you're that's rape, friend.
Oh no, there's a lot of sexual assault in porn.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's and it's you don't really think about it that much, or not until recently. I was like, oh man, there's a lot of really messed up shit.
Yeah.
And here,
Like how they what's also weird is there's this weird trend, since we're just riding this gravy train. They always have to say whatever it's like someone about to like fuck their mom. They're always like blah 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 blah. I'm stepmom. All right, fine, we can fuck. Like they always fit in that like stepmom thing.
Oh yeah.
Just in case. Like I always wondered if there's like dudes out there, like if they didn't hear the stepmom line, they're like, well, this is disgusting. Like just turn it off. Like I'm just gonna go watch more anal. Like
but it's okay for me to like this now, I guess.
Yeah. It's arguable. Like, it's probably not good that there's so much sexual assault in porn.
no, that's probably not.
No, that's absolutely not. Like that is not because.
Well, no. In some ways, it might because like if that's someone's thing, maybe they're watching the porn to get that urge out, and then so they go into the real world, they don't do that. You know, so I'm not saying it's entirely negative.
It's a double-edged sword. It is.
Perhaps there's I don't know enough.
No,
I don't know enough to.
I think probably it's also. I think generally we're probably a little more well-rounded people that we can like look at that and recognize like, well, of course I would never do that.
Right.
Like, it's not normalizing it to us, but like I'm sure there are people who are like, well, I guess that's how you fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like the video game argument where it's like video games are making kids violent. It's like, no, your kid is fucked up because you're fucked up, and the video games have nothing to do with it.
yeah, he would just go read an angry book and still kill people. Like,
Right. Exactly.
But in real life, pornography is what shaped like pubic hair grooming. Prior to pornography that was like displaying entirely shaved vaginas.
Right.
Like women had giant
Hair
It sounds
diapers.
so
Hair
shitty.
diaper?
Women had
Oh my god.
like ungroomed pubic hair, and everybody was
Yeah.
really attracted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
people love pubic thatches.
Yeah, and now you don't see it. It's like unheard of for a woman to have an entirely ungroomed pubic area.
It's not. It's coming back. That's coming back though.
It seems like it's coming back.
It's not
Yeah.
coming back
Why?
like as a rage though, man. It's not coming back like full on. It's coming back like, oh, I actually have some hair, and this is edgy. Like I have some hair.
No,
That's
no.
still
I'm
groomed.
saying like Reddit, like on Gone Wild, of people posting like pictures of themselves naked.
Full-
There's yeah. Like even like into the butt crack hair.
Who prefers hair? I didn't think that was ever
Who
like
prefers
anyone
butt
ever.
crack? Dude, up
Older
until
people?
like the 80s. You know, up until the 80s.
Well, that was
when-
all you had, but like I mean, like who would prefer hair? Like if your girlfriend was like, "I'm going to grow it out," you wouldn't be like, "That's a bad idea."
No,
Like-
man.
like-
Well, I mean, now, but because we've been raised, we have been raised in a culture. We came of age at a time when pubic hair wasn't a thing, and so we understood that to be what's attractive. Where I'm sure whenever chicks first started shaving, you know, it was probably like, that's fucking weird. Why'd
Yeah.
you do that?
So you look
Why'd
like a
do
kid
that?
now. We don't fuck kids.
Now you're like, what? I feel like I have some. What's it called? Infantilization.
Infantilization, yeah.
Yeah, like infantilization about like it was just weird. But now we see like a woman who's like natural. And it's like
Like I was so like I when I was a kid, you know, porn was around. There's giant, you know, just like, you know, looked like a dog was down there. It was fucking crazy, you know. And then like the first couple times I ever had, like the first couple girls I had sex with, they all shaved.
Right.
But I think it was like the fourth or fifth time I encountered a girl that didn't, and I like was completely like, I was like, what the holy fuck?
Yeah.
She's like, I just don't do it. Like, yeah, I get real bad razor burn. Everything gets fucked. I'm like. But I was like, I'm talking like I had like a 10-minute conversation about it. I was so like, holy shit! Like, all right, is there a vagina there? Like,
See, man, the first time I encountered that, I was just like, well, Here we
But
go.
by the way,
Yeah, you don't like
by
it,
the way,
but it won't
once you
stop
get
you.
past
Oh,
it,
no.
I think
It's not going to stop me, no.
The only bad thing, by the way, that I just thought a while ago, but the only bad thing about the porn storylines is that they're all pretty predictable because you know that like whenever you see the woman who has her hand stuck in the sink and she's in a thong and her stepson comes up and you're like, okay, you know what, I'll bet I can see where this is going. But
Is
instead,
that the
like,
comment you leave predictable?
because like honestly, like because look, think about this. Like, just put yourself in the situation of the viewer. I know that's difficult, but you're there and you're watching. How much more interesting would the experience of video hunting be if 1 out of every 10 videos kind of threw you for a loop? Like the woman's stuck in the sink and
And
the
then he
sun comes
murders
up,
her.
and she's like, "Oh, baby, I'm stuck." And then he just like, "I'll help you out," and then flips on the disposal. Like, problem solved.
I
And
thought
just
it was
walks
gonna be
away.
like, woman
Credits.
has her hand stuck in disposal. Man comes over, pulls down his pants, and then farts right on her back.
I actually don't. I prefer that to happen where like I just know it's gonna happen because sometimes porn, especially when you get into these like hour and a half, 2 hour long videos,
Oh, they're annoying.
and this is a while ago, but sometimes you just have a business jerk. All right, you're not horny. You got to sleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Or you got to go do something.
You had too much Tanqueray. Yeah, you got to
You
do
gotta
a
go outside
business
and do
jerk.
something, yeah.
So you just find something. You're like, all right, I know I'm going to get my nut off. Whatever. You see the video. So this is like 5-6 years ago when like Pornhub was really like catching stream, and there's this. It's like an hour and a half long video. It's one of the highest rated ones. I'm like, all right, perfect. 2 girls. They're dressed just like incredibly slutty. And this guy comes in. He's like, all right, you girls, you ready for the pumpkin patch? And I'm like, oh, yeah, what the fuck is the pumpkin patch? No, it's actually a pumpkin patch. And these girls are dressed in just bras and panties and like a see-through satin dress. And it's 22 minutes into the video. I haven't seen any vag yet. This guy's not even hard. And they're like, oh, no, you don't want that pumpkin. That's not, you gotta, that's a sugar pumpkin. That's for cooking. We're going to make jack-o'-lanterns. And I'm like, okay, let's click on. 45 minutes into the video, they're still in the fucking pumpkin patch. And I'm like, what are you trying to do here? When am I going to see this guy's dick get sucked?
Can you imagine back in the day if that would have happened to you when you were trying to download something from like Kazaa or Morpheus or whatever, where you could preview it and you'd be like, okay, I'm like 45 minutes. I've been downloading this for like 4 days, just an hour long,
right?
And there's still no boobs. What the fuck? You know what? Fuck this one.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be pissed.
Wait, what was the porn site that was just a catalog of pictures?
I mean,
It was it was like it was,
Are you familiar with the internet?
The one?
no. There was the really famous one. It was called fuck. And a yellow background. It was real shitty, and they were just links to picture. What's that? The Hun. Thank you, Trevor. Fuck yeah, Trevor pulling through. The Hun. TheHun.com.
I never went there. I don't know what
Fuck
you're
yeah,
talking
man.
Yeah,
I don't know
dude,
it
I
either.
fuck with
That's
the
new
Hun.
to me.
The Hun. TheHun.com, man. We should like fucking pull it up for posterity's sake. Like it just a catalog.
Yeah, it's just
a catalog
links
of,
and links and links.
and you would click on it, and what was really funny is, so this was still like dial-up modem days, like 56K. And so every once in a while, somebody was hilarious, and they would label it wrong, and it would take, a few minutes to fully download.
Right.
And there at the end would just be a bunch of dudes with like their cocks hanging out, like when you clicked on, like big-breasted women or something. But yeah, the Hun. A friend of mine who he had internet. I wasn't allowed to have the internet when it first came out, and so my buddy had the internet, and he also had his own computer in his bedroom, which was in the basement.
God. Wow.
What?
Yeah, and. That dude went through like 4 computers because he just stayed on the Hun downloading, and it was just like viruses, like immediately, like it would just crash hard drive after hard drive, like virus after virus, and anyway, thehun.com. I don't miss those days,
Dude,
I don't miss those days, but I do miss the days where looking at a picture
Was good enough.
was enough.
Yeah.
Like it was like this has got me so worked up.
Well, if it's someone that's different. Like if somebody sends you a picture that's different, because it's like there's like a back and forth there. you
Right,
know?
right.
But yeah, you're right. Like looking at a picture of boobs and it's like, well, that's cool, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see them moving around.
Right.
My only memory about my only memory of the hunt was I remember I was over at my buddy's house and his parents went to bed and he's like, you want to look at some porn? And I'm like, yeah, because that's the internet.
Right.
That's cool.
When that wasn't weird.
Yeah, it didn't seem weird at all at the time. And then we're like, yeah. So like we clicking around like, oh look, it says lesbian. I don't know, whatever. Let's click it, and it starts downloading. You see this woman, and she's like kind of like her legs open, and it keeps loading and loading. It's loading pretty quickly. It's still like a minute.
Yeah,
and we get to the last like third loads. There's this other woman just shoving this fist into this other woman's vagina. This is the thing. I had never ever seen this in my entire life. This is like the most. I didn't even know a fist could fit in there. I was like a penis. I think like fits in there. I didn't even know. That ruined our lives. Right after that, we're like, I didn't even know. And then honestly, for a while, I probably for a good couple days after that, I was like, I bet women hide shit in there. They do sometimes, just not all the time.
So anyway,
Yeah, Game of Thrones is good though. Yeah.
I wasn't really impressed with how they wrap things up.
So is the dragon? Is it like concussive ice breath,
That was really confusing, wasn't
or
it?
is it fire? Is that fire?
It's not ice.
It's not ice, right?
Which was like I think it's like kind of like a plasma beam.
Okay, so it's like energy.
Yeah, like
Yeah. It could look like kind of like a
Yeah.
pulse ray or something.
By the way,
Yeah.
Mr. Giant Bane and Eye Patch McGee, they totally made it out of there.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't give an off-screen.
You can
That's
actually
ridiculous.
see them.
Oh, really?
This is the thing. They did the really smart thing, which I would not have done. I would have totally been like down the stairs. They
just ran along the wall.
walked along the wall farther down.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my first thought was
Yeah.
like run the opposite direction along the wall. Like you've got a fucking road there. Just fucking run as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll outrun the. But it's like if you're on a bridge and it starts collapsing. It's like, are you gonna jump off the bridge or are you just gonna try to run to land?
Yeah.
Probably the second thing.
Yeah,
I think.
If they had a higher budget, they would have like slid down on a sled. That would be like
You know what? Fuck that. I'm so tired of movies and stuff like doing like a crazy like the Hobbit movie. Like, oh, there's this crazy chase sequence and everyone almost dies 8 times, but somehow they're all fucking fine at the end. Like, stop doing that. I was just discussing these guys. I watched Jurassic Park the other day. Jurassic Park doesn't do anything like that at all ever. You know what? One of the most intense sequences for me is whenever Ellie is running. She and Muldoon are going to the bunker.
Yeah.
Whenever he's like, run now, and it's her. It's think about it. It's just her running, and in music. Mm-hmm. That's it. And she gets into that thing, and as she closes the door, you're like, nothing happened. No dinosaurs. It's just her running. It's just exciting music and her fucking running, and you're like, oh, holy shit! Okay, she made it. She's safe now. She's actually less safe than she was before because there's a raptor in there.
Like,
but you don't know that.
Yeah, how fucking crazy is that? One of the scariest parts of that sequence right after it is the flashlight she's dragging behind her. And
Yeah.
you're just freaking out. You're like, get it!
It's gonna get caught on something. yeah. It's brilliant. Like movie makers have like almost entirely lost that Spielberg minimalist thing where it's like, okay, this is not, that shouldn't be exciting. It's just her running like literally, and it's not even far. It's like what, like 50 feet she has to run.
yeah.
They can see the door from where they are. He's just like run out, and that's it. It's it's genius, and modern movies just don't do that shit anymore.
But that's exciting, like in the same way that however many years ago we could download a picture from Pornhub or from thehun.com and look at that picture and be really turned on by it. Is that sequence of like somebody just running, it's like, oh fuck, I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be scared and running.
Right.
Like, and then we become callous.
Well, no,
And then
I
you
don't
need
think
more.
that. I think
I
that's
don't
the
agree
opposite.
with
I think
you.
that's opposite because I just watched that yesterday or 2 days ago, and it was still exciting as fuck for me, and I've seen it before.
Right, but so why has there been this? What accounts for this? I don't know, like hyperbolic sort of
because
like chase scenes and just like over the top nonsense.
Well, okay. Think about this, all right? You're always looking for your product to meet the lowest common denominator. Jurassic Park isn't fair. Jurassic Park is one of the first big, huge blockbusters to create something like that. I'm literally wearing a Jurassic Park shirt right now.
Oh my God, you are.
As Jared just pointed out.
What a nice Jurassic blouse.
There is a Jurassic blouse.
Spared no expense.
Yeah.
That was good.
And you don't see a whole lot of dinosaur movies. I actually I don't know. I don't remember. I think I might have been discussing this with you. Is everybody loves dinosaur movies?
Yeah.
Everybody. There's not a human being on the face of the earth that doesn't love dinosaur movies, but there's very few of them
because
hard
of that movie
to recreate. Yeah, because of this. And action movies, they go to that like the expense that you can spend on it versus your the largest audience that you're going to reach with that. And what can you spend minimally to reach that amount of people for maximum profit? And that's why you see a lot of the things that happen now with modern action movies. The bar was set with Jurassic Park, with something like that, with a lot of creative input for something like that. And that book does not read like that movie.
No, it does not.
It doesn't, not at all. That is
Yeah.
Spielberg genius, is what that
Yes.
is, to make that movie last this long with practical effects and a minimal amount of CGI.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is interesting that we brought up this whole like chase sequence thing. Like in the book, there is a crazy chase sequence with the T-Rex in the river, and it's acting like an alligator.
Yeah.
And they have to like shoot it with a fucking rock. I don't care if it's a rocket launcher or whatever the hell they hit it with.
Yeah, it's
and
real
none
crazy.
of that's in the movie. And
No.
you would think like, boom, right there. I'm making a sweet dinosaur action movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this right in here. Like, and you can see bits of that in the other movies.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, like the choices he made, because there's also in that book there is so much boring shit. Like actually, I shouldn't say it's boring, but it's just it's like info dumps. Like
Yeah,
this
well,
is
it's
how
like-
genetics work. It's all
yeah.
Michael Crichton always says that.
It's like Moby Dick. We're like, this is about whaling half
Yeah.
the time. You're like, I don't care about whaling.
Oh, Moby.
Well, I mean, I thought it was interesting when I was reading it.
Moby Dick or Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Moby-
should have
Moby
said
Dick
it was
is not
boring. It was
interesting.
just more like it's like
Yeah.
this part's which is more palatable, of course, when you read it, like than
Well,
when you watch it.
They I guess that in 1993 they knew where to draw the line with what they could afford to put on screen, like the T-Rex in the river or the pterodactyl dome that they skipped also.
Which they put in the third one.
Exactly. Yeah. So and like it's like, okay, we got these 2 hours. How much from the book can we draw to put in, like, to make it a decent balance of stuff? And it was obviously an excellent balance that they put in that movie. I mean, like taking it out of like even just within the like from one movie to the next is tough because it's you're not basing it on source material that's as good. But I always the comparison that I always draw about like the older action movies versus newer action movies is Die Hard, because the most extreme examples of two scenes that like one being really good and the other one being really stupid is John McClane is at the top of an elevator shaft and freaking out because the bad guys are behind him, and he's got to like climb into the elevator shaft, an empty elevator shaft, and try to like work his way to another window or whatever in there with bracing himself just on like the gun strap that he's like propped between the two walls of the thing. And it's like 40 stories up. He drops a quarter down there, and it's really intense. So the guy who freaks out about doing something that I would, of course, really freak out about doing is not the same person who would, in Die Hard 4, ride a Harrier as it's crashing, holding onto its fin, and like slide down an overpass that's been like blown up. What?
Well, maybe it's like kind of meta almost, where it's like if John McClane is doing that, and he's like, okay, this is dumb. Like I've been through so much shit. It's like he is calloused, and he's like, I don't, whatever. It's a Harrier crashing. Okay, yeah, this is every day for me now. It's the same thing with the audience, where it's like, well, we've already seen him do all this shit. What it's a Harrier. That's cool, I guess. Whatever. Like it's not exciting anymore, and that's the problem, I think.
It's interesting that you bring this up because Dave Bracey and I were talking about this. I've been very hard on Game of Thrones this season. Not as hard as like the internet. The internet's really hard on it. But I understand, okay? I know that we're tying things up. I have to let some things go. I get that. I am not saying that they have to be exactly like the books or it has to be as good as previous seasons. And there's a lot this season that was really good.
Yeah.
That when we first see the dragon fight in episode 6 when Jaime tries to kill the dragon.
Oh, it's like episode 4, I think.
It's somewhere in the middle
Yeah,
there.
there's like 7 episodes, so.
Man, that is, and I'll tell you what, if you have not watched the making of that scene, it's absolutely necessary viewing. You have no idea how much effort went into that, how complicated it is. They burned more people in that scene than they've ever burned, ever, for a television or movie event.
Really?
Ever, by 5.
Wow.
5
people or by times 5?
5 additional people.
Oh, okay.
Which is a lot when you do that. Like,
not movies, everything. Like,
yeah,
wow.
it's incredible. They set Guinness World Records for that scene.
The amount of people set on fire.
Yeah. And
That's
when you
awesome.
watch what they do and the amount of actual stuntmen that went into that, and they showed how, like, those people actually rode standing on horses, and they built things for the horses so that the Dothraki could actually stand and shoot.
Yeah.
And I was more hyped up watching the making of video than I was watching the actual scene. I was like, holy shit, they actually did all this. This is incredible.
Oh yeah, the same thing. I watched the making of the bear scene where they.
Oh,
fight the
yeah.
bear.
oh my god.
Like watching it, I was like, "Oh, cool! It's like an undead bear. That's awesome!" And like he's fighting it and stuff, and it looks good.
Oh, it's
I
terrifying.
I never like the effects never took me out of the scene. I was like, "Okay, this is intense." The one thing kind of did whenever they were all the rest of them were just standing there watching a bear
Yeah,
maul
that was a
somebody.
little dumb, but
Like,
that's
guys,
all it
what are you doing? There's 7 or 9 of you or whatever, and they're just like mauling somebody. Anyway. But watching the making of it, I was like, holy shit, this is impressive.
Yeah.
So they have this whole bear rig, and it's like, that sword is actually on fire. He's actually wrestling this bear, like this, kind of framework of a bear, and then just add the effects in later. But yeah, it was really impressive. The making of it was more impressive than the actual scene was.
It is. And so there's obviously great things happening this season. That episode, though, where the Magnificent Seven head north.
Yeah.
First off, that is the stupidest fucking plot device I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And it was proven. Cersei doesn't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. That was completely useless, and I still can't find a justifiable reason for doing so.
Oh no, it's definitely. This is what I think happened. It's just like how it had to have happened because I can't figure out any way in my mind is that someone would be like, dude, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if the Night King had a dragon?
Yeah.
And they just wrote it backwards.
Yeah.
They're
It's
like, all right,
like
how do
Batman
we get him a
Superman.
dragon? We got to kill a dragon. Why would the dragons go up north? What if Jon was there? Oh, okay. Well, then if Jon was there, then they got to have a relationship. We'll slap one of those together, even though that was probably going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's how it had, like, this. By the way, the second they killed that dragon, the first words out of my mouth, I'm like, Dracolich. I'm like, they're going to bring that fucking thing back, and it's going to be a problem.
I said out loud, I said, what's the one from Warcraft?
I can't remember.
Cindergrosa.
Yeah.
I was like, Cindergrosa right there, bam.
Yeah.
It's literally in the trailer of Warcraft Frozen Throne, the ice dragon comes out of a fucking frozen lake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they basically watched that, they're like, huh, yeah, we could definitely pull that off.
Yeah. By the way, I am really happy that happened. Like, I know that
it's cool as fuck, yeah.
the whole them getting they gotta get a whole is whatever. But like that, I'm like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so in the books, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen differently, but because like, how else do you get the wall to fall without explaining like what the wall is made of, and there's magic and shit, and like there's like in the books it's going to be probably way more complicated, but like in this they're like, well, what's the only thing that could possibly bring down the wall? Probably one of the dragons. Okay, we have to get there somehow. So that's probably why they did that. I can't see them in 2 seasons getting the wall to fall down.
The episode really disturbs me on multiple levels, and I'm not going to get into it, the minutia of why I hate all this. I bring up Dave because we were talking about it, and he was like, you're being way too critical of Game of Thrones right now. It's always been dragons versus zombies. And I know that. I know it's been from the very get-go, from the first time you read the book, it's going to end with dragons versus zombies. And I said to him, it's not that I am expecting anything else. It's that I was expecting a Die Hard movie, and I got Die Hard 3 for this writing. That's where we're at. That's what I'm getting. It's not. You're allowed.
Bow, 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 bow. Hot down, so
In the city, back of my neck's getting farted on by Jared.
It's like the best opening to a movie. Every time I'm in New York City and it's hot, that song just plays constantly in my head. I'm like walking around, be like, oh man, I hope I won't see anyone in sandwich boards today.
But
Well, gentlemen and ladies listening, I have to go. Okay. I have some things to attend to.
did we really waste that much time?
So
Yeah, we were talking about it for a while.
It's
Okay.
It's time for me
Sorry,
to go.
Dan.
We've been at this for a little while. But enjoy Redlands, Mage. I thought those were both incredible books.
Yeah.
I wish I would be here for the discussion on those. Redlands really something.
Yeah.
I dig that. I want to see where that's going. So will I continue to read? Just preemptively. Yes. Redlands. Yes.
Okay.
Mage. Yes. They're both cool.
I hope that we didn't chase away everybody with all the porn talk, and we can.
I mean,
I don't
they'll
know
stay
though,
with
man.
us
I feel
for
like we
Redlands.
touched on something. I hope that there's like one dude listening who's like, you know what, man? I've had a fucked up dream about my, cousin, aunt, mom, something that like I've never told anyone about. Like this is a thing that happens in the world. Like, don't worry, bud. We don't think that you're some sort of fucking weirdo.
You're not alone.
Did you act on it? How'd you feel when you woke up? You felt weird. That's a good indication that you're all right.
Yeah.
to contrast that, there's also probably one of our listeners who's like crazy-eyed, feverishly masturbating to his stepmom tied to a radiator. Like, see, this is normal.
Oh man!
I just want to let that guy know that's not cool.
Stop doing that, please.
Yeah, don't do that.
Or whenever you come back from that, after hearing us say that, just when you get to this part, don't do that again.
Yeah, don't do that.
Bring her some water.
Fucking figure out how to unstuck her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get one of the actors from. So I mean, hey, if we get big, we can bring them on as a guest or something.
One
Yeah.
from
One of the actors or actresses. Yeah.
Oh, Hodor's not doing anything anymore. We could probably get him.
Oh yeah, he made that commercial. That
Yeah.
that Burger King.
Wait,
KFC.
I'm sorry, I wasn't following. Do we want Game of Thrones actors or porn actors?
Both.
Well,
probably.
either or both. Yeah.
Definitely both.
Let's get the regular Hodor actor,
Well-
and then we'll get the guy who plays Hodor in the pornos.
Well, let's not
Game
let's
of
not
Thrones
pretend that.
porn?
First of all, let's not pretend that some of those actors on Game of Thrones aren't both.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
That's a good point.
what's her name? Carissa. Who plays Melisandre?
I can't remember her name.
I remember her name.
Carrie, Carissa.
Yeah.
She started in porn, right?
Did she?
Yeah.
No. I thought it was somebody else. I thought it was one of the in the whorehouses. Well, I thought one of those people was actually.
I'm sure they're all.
I don't
in
know.
porn.
No, they're not on porn, but
They're all in porn.
the joke was that there's so much fucking in Game of Thrones. Like they basically, some of them are kind of porn actors.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Enjoy, guys. I guess Vanessa Del Rey is gonna be shouting us out here.
hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
maybe we'll do
We don't
that.
tell much.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I wanted to.
I was just a part of the.
If we
podcast
want to tell her how much her book sucks.
Well, I was just been in talks with her that if she listened to it and she liked it, she would definitely bump it.
okay.
So maybe. But,
We did. We really enjoyed the book. If hopefully she's gotten this far in the podcast.
Yeah,
We-
Vanessa.
we're gonna talk
we
about
haven't. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to it.
Maybe
yet.
we could like bookmark it when we start talking about Redlands and tell her like, hey, check out minute 63. That's where we start talking about Redlands.
Or we could just we could just do a little special or something.
Yeah, I think that might be good too.
Yeah.
it's worthy of a special.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good.
And I like the editor or the writer's notes at the end.
Yeah.
That was a fun.
That's cool.
That was a fun little thing that made me think that as I'm reading this and they're saying like these are for you. It's predominantly talking about like it's like younger people.
Yeah.
And I'm not a younger person. I'm a young-ish person. I'm soon to not be young anymore. And it still really resonates with me.
Yeah.
And that sentiment, which is something I wanted to talk about whenever we talked about Redlands, but those sentiments conveyed still resonate with me, even as I watch as my what would be the objective definition of youth
Right.
is mostly behind me. I still resonate with these themes, or these themes still resonate with me, in me.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting and cool. And I'd like to believe that I'd like to hope that these themes and these feelings will continue to resonate in me, because that might be the key to never truly growing old. Is to still feel that excitement, to still feel that like you can affect some change, and not be entirely disheartened Like when you see things that are difficult, not to accept that these are the way things are and this place is fucked, but to see the way things are and feel like, fuck, we can do something about it. We can do something radical. We can create a piece of art or some music or a group of people, or our thoughts, our conversations have the capacity to make big changes. Yeah. So I think it's neat. And yeah, way to go, Vanessa.
About halfway through what you were just explaining there, I started thinking, what if he were still talking about stepmom porn? It kind of fits.
You're not alone, me too. I was going to say something like that.
I was wondering if we read the same comic book. I was like, that sounds intense. I don't know. I just read that too.
At any rate, yeah. Keep making that stepmom porn, Vanessa. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
She definitely can't listen to this episode, though.
No, clearly I was talking about Red Light.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. As always, it's
Yes.
a pleasure, an honor. I love you all. I love everyone. Everyone who's listening to this, I love you. And people who aren't listening to this, I love you too.
Dan's not dying or anything. He's just going to help out his parents with something. It sounds like it's your farewell ride. Like you're gonna James Dean yourself off a cliff here. You're just going to like move a couch or something.
Man, if I James Dean myself off a cliff, it's not going to be in my fucking Subaru station wagon. Okay, I have a Subaru station wagon out there. You could start thinking that maybe if I had the Chevelle, I'm like, all right, guys, this is it.
First of all, James Dean didn't grow off a cliff, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, I mean, he was driving crazy
Yeah,
and he fucking died. He was in a Porsche, actually, I think.
I'm just saying you can't James Dean yourself off a cliff, because if you James Dean yourself, you crash into a guardrail.
I got the sentiment.
Yeah, everybody gets
Yeah, I
it.
got what he meant. I don't know.
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah.
keep smelling your own farts over there.
Well, I've been farting this whole time.
All right,
So.
goodbye. Love you all.
Bye. I really have been farting the whole time.
Yeah, of course you have.
I haven't even farted yet. I didn't even know that was cool.
Yeah, no, that's
worry about the sound.
totally cool.
Yeah. One time in a previous episode, I farted it into the microphone.
Yeah.
It
Which
was
one?
The one I'm using.
Oh, thank God.
Oh yeah, no, I have a very specific microphone.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does
we
it a
make
lot.
sure. We make sure. Yeah.
It's like always is now. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the microphone that has Jared written on it.
Ah.
Spoiler alert: there are a bunch of them that have Jared written on them because they belong to me. Anywho, you trying to break another glass here, bud? All right. So where were we? I was gonna go. We can go to Mage, I guess. Mage. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do Mage.
Let's go there. All right. See you, bud.
So, can I ask you guys a question? Have you guys ever read any Mage before?
I have not. Actually,
I didn't know that this was. I thought this was a brand new character.
Okay,
I had
this
no idea.
guy's been around like forever.
Yeah.
So straight up, when I was younger, I used to be really into this role playing game called Mage: The Ascension. Don't judge me. Just leave me alone.
No.
Do not
no one
mock
here is
me.
judging you.
Guys.
We're on a
Be nice.
comic book podcast.
I know, I'm kidding. But I eventually, when I was, spending my infinite amount of time in comic book stores, I came across this, and I was like, I'm not reading this. What? He has a magic baseball bat? What the fuck? And I've later been told it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever even got to take a look at one, in a long time. But
You want to run us through it? Just so what we? I mean, I'm not for sure if you heard how we do it, but we.
no,
usually
I have
just-
no idea what you do.
Okay, so we just you say the title, then we who's involved in making it, and then we just kind of brief summary, and then we all talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Publisher, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, it's Mage, the Hero Denied, by Matt Wagner, and this particular one is the third interlude, with colors by Brendan Wagner, lettering by Dave Lafnir, and design and production by Steve Bircht. I don't know if I'm supposed to
What's
say all
the
that
publisher?
stuff. Publisher,
I can't see it.
Image, duh.
Image, yeah.
Cha. Who else would make such a fine comic other than the good people over at Image?
buy Image Comics.
Yeah, buy Image Comics today, wherever images are sold. No, I mean, there's not a whole ton of story. It's pretty simple. It's like, Mage goes to hang out in front of a place. This guy starts talking it up real hard. He's like, yeah, I used to have a sweet title. And then he's called the Steez. And so they're just kind of standing around
I
outside.
fucking love this guy.
Yeah, he kind of looks like if what I thought the look cool is when I was 8.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how I would dress now if 8-year-old dressed me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got this hat on, these kind of cool yellow goggles, shorts, kick-ass boots. Looks like he delivers pizzas. He's got red circles all over him. And then pretty much right away, there's like a bajillion little, like, I would call them a cross between a gremlin and a monkey and I don't know. Yeah, probably a gremlin and a monkey.
And
like,
something from Spirited Away.
An old,
something like that,
an old woman, maybe?
A little bit, yeah. The haircut's a little old woman-y. Almost like an old hag.
It's like if, like, 90s X-Men illustrators rewrote a Studio Ghibli bad guy.
Yeah. But, so, they have the awesome fight, which is pretty great. And then I never got to the end, guys. I'm not going to lie. I didn't look at the last page. So this is going to be like... But I like that I keep trying to show it to everybody, even though no one can see this. I'm like, all right, on this page, everybody.
Like a preschool teacher?
Yeah, like exactly like a grade school
You
teacher.
read this and then you turn it over and you show everyone, and then you go back to reading?
So I guess Mage has, like, sweet electrical powers. You guys never read Mage before,
I
right?
don't know anything about Mage.
I don't know shit about this.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be magic.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. But they ends up jumping around, murdering a bunch more of these guys, and that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, other than Mage coming out with, like, a big rod at the end and burying... Oh, there's a giant murder demon.
Yeah.
And then, that's the end. The giant murder demon.
So it's in issue 0, so it's kind of like it is like just an interlude to the third chapter of
Yeah.
the Mage story. I don't know anything about the first 2 chapters, so I don't know.
I don't know anything.
I don't know. But pretty much it's like just banter and then some fighting, and that's about it. But I don't know.
How much is that book? I can't see it from here.
$2.
$2.
Okay. I was gonna say that says $4.
Oh no.
No,
I'd be pissed if I bought that for $4.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's 2.
I don't even know about 2. There's not a whole lot here.
There really isn't.
I think the art's pretty cool though.
It's
The
like a
art is
preview
cool.
book.
It
The
is.
art's fine. Like, I mean, it works for sure. Like, it's not confusing or anything. I mean, sometimes I'm trying to think of the artist that, like, sometimes I look at his stuff, I can't. He does, like, I don't know if he's done some Sandman or some Batman stuff. But, like, every once in a while, like, when I try reading, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
That's actually interesting that you bring that up. I will say, in reading it, it's very concise.
Yeah.
Yeah. The storyboarding is great. I love the art. The art's really cool, and it reminds me of that, like, old 90s, very sharp, stylized. I got nostalgia reading this for the artwork in it because it is really cool. And
It did remind me of, like, some older X-Men.
Yeah.
I was thinking almost like a late 90s Ghost Rider is kind of the way that I was seeing a lot of this art on here. And you're right, it's not convoluted at all. It's what you see is what you get. It may sound like we skipped over plot points. No, this is like a maximum of 10 pages.
Yeah, that wasn't me
That's-
actually trying to be a dick. It was like...
No, that's
I was trying to...
literally-
at one point, I thought about just lying and adding in a subplot just to make it sound like there was more there.
yeah, there's not a lot to this.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's just like the dude, the Mage dude is just hanging out, and I'm not sure is it the
No context.
yeah, no context. He's just like leaning up against a dumpster or something.
Yeah,
and,
talking to another super dude.
Yeah, yeah. And this they happen. I guess they ran into each other, and yeah, they're talking, and this dude's bragging, and he's like nearly overwhelmed by these little things, which I think is part of like that's really like what's I don't know it's showing the Mage like the Mage is not worried at all about these things. He's like, oh yeah, they're just these things, and then the guy's like, oh yeah, I totally got that, and then he starts fighting them, and he like almost gets overwhelmed. He manages to beat them, and then that guy's like, all right, well, see you later, man. And then Mage is like, yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot. Those things only hang around like bigger things, and and there it is. And then this huge fucking demon comes out, and the Mage is like, okay, now I can fight. That's what I was actually here for. And then it just illustrating how much of a fucking idiot this new kid is.
No, I think that's actually a pretty good explanation. It does show off him being like a power pimp, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would describe it. I think I've had a hard... it's weird. Most comic book characters I can tell you something about. Seriously, that story I told you is like all the anecdotes and things I could tell you about him.
Yeah, and even seeing his symbol, like I've seen that symbol so many times. I just never looked into any Mage stuff. But I honestly, from like the banter back and forth, I would like to read more of this because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I check out a graphic novel of it for sure.
Yeah.
Like if I could get like 5 together or like 6 or whatever, like I would totally check that out.
Yeah. Even honestly, if they kept releasing these at $2 for like whatever 10 pages or 15 pages, I might still pick them up because it's like, oh, cool. It's it's an easy read. I could just like if I'm taking a shit or something, just like bang one out, and yeah, is it easy to read, fun to read? Yeah, I'm down with it. Anybody else? Any comments? Oh, Greg.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing. This did not convince me to read more because I think it's just very self-contained as to what it is. Like, I like the demon at the end there, but I think after discussing it, because at first I was like, I don't know. This didn't draw me in, but it being a 0 issue and knowing that there's more lore here, I think it's convinced me to like. If I would want to check out the Mage character more, right. So yeah, I would continue looking into the Mage character, but this particular comic, it doesn't. I don't even. What's the follow up to this? Is there? I mean, I saw in the end there's more Mage stuff.
Issue
but,
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because at the end here, it says, like, the Mage whole thing is ending right now. Like, the final comic comes out, well, it said August on here.
Well, this is the final run, I think.
Okay.
Because this is issue 0 of the final run. So, like, this is like the interlude to the final, bit of, yeah, so I'm assuming there'll be, like, however many are in a chapter of the Mage saga.
So, Mage is ending?
Yeah.
I guess so.
This is it. This is the prequel to the final run of the trilogy, and there's only 15 issues left of this. I don't know if we should have done this, to be honest. I think I would have rather looked into because this did pique my interest, but starting off with this character as essentially an interlude in the middle of the story as to what he is.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I wish we would have done something else so we had a little more idea of the lore and what's going on with this character, especially since Derek said it's fucking cool.
Well, no, I like the fact that we none of us have any idea what this is about, because like some people who are probably listening maybe never heard about this either, and this is what's happening right now. So like we can still go back and read more.
I do feel like there's one dude listening right now just like pulling out his hair.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You don't love Mage?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely,
like,
yeah.
Dude, you're the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that idea too, where because sometimes I listen to podcasts and I'm like, no, that's fucking wrong, and I need to call in right now and like send them an email and tell them what was wrong about it. Like that happens to me sometimes.
Hey,
Me
Jared, long-time listener, first-time caller. I noticed that you did not cover the first 2 seasons of the Mage. Yeah, so
I wonder if we could do a thing where it's almost like an AMA, but we do like a live podcast where people can call in and just like we'll plug the phone into the board and just like have people ask us questions.
you got people Skype in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we could do
Yeah.
that.
people have done that kind of stuff before.
Yeah, and we could have it like maybe
You live
one
stream
person.
and then you let people.
Yeah, we have one person on Reddit saying like, okay, well, we're about to open up this thing, so like call now, and if you get through, then we'll talk to you for a few minutes or whatever. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway,
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I like the concept of the guy. I'd continue reading it.
all right. So Chris says yes. Minto, we also at the end after we're done talking about something, we all go around and say, "Will you read? Or are you interested in reading more?" So, J-Man,
I'm not sure. I hate issue 0s,
Yeah.
just in general.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
I fucking hate them.
it's a really '90s thing.
They're
to do.
worthless. It's good that they put 0 on the front of it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Greg.
It sounds cool. Yeah, it's I should give it a shot.
Okay. Yeah, I check it out. Minto.
Yeah, I think I'd read it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd at least read. I'd like to read an issue 1.
Yeah. Yeah, like a full issue of it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. If someone were to set the first issue down, like a full comic down in front of me, I would certainly read it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right. Maybe should we send? Could we haven't talked about Defenders or Redlands yet? Should we just like cut this here and then just do like a few more minutes as a separate thing? What do you guys think?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll stop here. That was episode 42 of Grown Up Human Comic People. Thank Derek Minto for coming on.
Hi.
Thanks.
Oh, bye. Actually, I should say bye. I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on, bud.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Yeah. You can find us at grownuphumans.com, epiccastnetwork.com/grownuphumans, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, YouTube, Grown Up Human Comic People, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram at grownuphumans. You can find Derek at derekminto.com, spelled just the way it sounds.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Bring the Ruckus, or you can just look up my name, Derek Minto, DerekMinto. Oh, it's so good. I know.
.com. It leaves a fresh taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
He's also usually at Ham Bones.
You can't I'm stuck. I'm permanently a fixture there. So
yeah,
any Thursday you can come down to my Thursday night show and watch the craziest open mic in the world.
Or any other night of the week, just in the dumpster in the back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
Wow.
he's just foraging.
That's
Yeah.
where that's where they keep the ham bones. So
Okay, now you're grounded. You're grounded now. Go to your room.
I hated that and loved it so much.
I did too, man. I said, I'm like, I want to die.
Yeah, that was just the lowest common denominator of
I know.
comedy.
Look at Greg's face. Is the perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even mean it as a reference to the place. I was like, well, they have ham there, and I'm a fat guy, so of course I like ham. And I'm like, well, that's where the bones would be. So I made a dumpster, and then I said it. I was like, God damn it. Oh,
You call yourself a comedian.
Oh no, you need to use that on stage at some point.
no, I'm never going to
You can find me all the time here because in the back it's where they keep the ham bones.
I'm going to get my lawyer to get a cease and desist on the end of this episode. So whenever he gets that
All right, well, thanks for listening, everybody. I'll go around the room. Just say goodbye, Chris. God damn it, J-Man,
So yeah.
Greg,
Till next time.
Minto.
Bye.
I'm Jared. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Comic people! Grown-up human comic people!
Epicast.